morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Um, uh, what I'm gonna be putting together here is a series of videos where I, share some tips and trading tips that can kind of help and make things a little bit easier for traders. One of the biggest things about trading is 80% of it is waiting, 10% is buying, 10% of it is selling. Um, so when we look at that, you want to be kind of prepared to know where you want to buy, maybe where you want to sell, and where you might want to take something to for a target. No strategy in particular here that I'll be discussing or talking about. This is purely just for educational entertainment purposes only. And I really enjoy using the TradingView charting software because they kind of make things a little easy. So I was going to talk about that and share that, and maybe there's some things that you might have not seen or knew that you could do with TradingView in regards to this. So as you can see, I've got a watch list up here where I've called it Trader Tips. And we've got, just got a series of names here that we're going to look at and kind of apply what I'll be talking about here. So as you can see here, this is just a simple 2-minute chart of the S&P 500. I can go to a 5-minute, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? 15-minute. The reality is that there are these lines plotted here, right? And they're identified and they're quite clear as to what they are, right? This yellow line right there says yesterday's low, right? And so what this is the 7th. If you can pay attention here, there's the 7th of April. We got the 8th of April here. So these dashed lines here are separating the days for me on the 15-minute chart here. We are not on extended hours. We're on regular trading hours. Well, if you go to extended trading hours, you'll see that there's a separation in all the days. The black is the days, the purple is after hours. So a full trading session is in the black. So as you can see here, this is Friday the 8th. Here's Thursday. Hence yesterday's low, right? This is labeled, this level is labeled yesterday's low, and that's 443.53. We got the same correlated yellow line there, right? Yesterday's high, 450.69, plotted. So in this purple session here, like I said, the dashed line separates the day. So here's after hours trading session on the 7th, and then here's 8 a.m. This is the 8th of April in the morning. You got some levels that it was trading at, right? So it's not, there's no special strategy here. It's about being organized. It's about being having everything ready here and seeing it. You'll over the period of time notice a correlation and see that maybe these levels that you have plotted you can use as triggers, or if you're trading towards them you can use them as targets. If you use other form of technical analysis for trend confirmation. Keep in mind we don't have any indicators on right now. We're just using strictly price. Price action is king, and we're going to look at that here and we're going to understand something. So you clearly have a magneted area that you magneted to and kind of rejected. So this is day's high. Yesterday's high was in this area here. And you had a pre-market high here. So it was kind of a little bit of selling off here. So it's kind of interesting that this kind of lines up, so the correlation and the confluence can kind of come into play a little bit, but there's no strategy here that I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to show you the quick trips and ways that you can kind of always have this plotted so that you're organized and you can do this on a day-to-day basis. So we're going to take this here, obviously pre-market's done for the 8th. We're going to have something for the 11th, of course, so we don't need this right now. We'll get rid of it. We'll get rid of that. This is obviously the day's low and the day's high. This is always changing, hence why we have it on there. So at some point that was the day's high. At some point that was the day's high until you broke it. And so that's the point of why we have the day's high as well, as an example of showing you another level, hence another target potentially that you can be taking trades to. I see an opportunity here, and this is in hindsight, with the confluence of the yesterday's high, pre-market high, and this being the high. I get carried away here and I could talk strategy. This was a beautiful pullback and pop trade opportunity here, where entering there using half of this candle as a stop and taking it to the day's high, because you also had pre-market high and yesterday's high also looming in this area. So some of the things to think about. I got carried away there. So let me go ahead and stop there. All right, we'll go back to the day's low, right? We don't need this anymore, of course. right? Why? Because we're going to be going into Monday. So we can take yesterday's data and just say, okay, here was a high on the S&P for the for it's not going to be yesterday, of course, but this is only going to be one day out of the week where you go from a Friday to Monday. I'm not going to change this. I could change this to say previous trading session, but that's complicated. Keep it simple, right? Yesterday. That way on Monday you don't have to change it from previous to, you just keep it simple. You always see it smack dab in your face telling you that it's yesterday's high or yesterday's low, right? Boom, we're going to see this on Monday. We're going to see and we'll be like, let's see if price can get above yesterday's high or if price is going to be trading to yesterday's low. Obviously it's not yesterday because it's Friday, but you get the picture. So we take the same information and we go look at let's look at this and practice that, right? And this is where the tip comes into play and how cool this is, right? There were so many writing, so many different colors, so many different patterns, right? How do you think I took the time to do that over and over and over again for every single line? No. Here's the tip. Here's the trick. Let's go to the Qs and try the same thing out here. So we're like, okay, wow, we got a pre-market high level right there. Here we closed down there, a little gap up. Okay, let's go ahead and give this pre-market high its flowers. We're gonna go. I'm not using the so the drawing tools on the left here. A lot of drawing opportunities here. I don't like using the horizontal line for something that I'm only going to be focusing on a shorter term period, right? I leave the horizontal lines to a longer term stretch. So I like to use the horizontal ray for short term, information. So go ahead and click that. You can access it by going into the drawing tools there. It's horizontal ray. As you can see, all my favorite drawing tools I have highlighted there, and they present themselves in a toolbar right here that I can access, right? So I go to the horizontal ray and I'm going to document the pre-market high. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to zoom in here. Is it this candle or this candle? How can we find out? Well, let's look at the OHLC. Okay, that candle's high is 356.53. This candle is 356.49. That's the high. It's very important. And how do I get that so specific to that level? Well, if you use this magnet tool on TradingView, it's really cool because then you'll magnetize the things. Boom. Right? So now we got that level there. It's yellow. That was the last setting that I was on, I guess, right? Well, this is cool here. If you go into this and you right click or you even go to the settings on this tool here, this is when you can change the color of things, right? So I don't do this every single time. I've learned to do this once, and if I like that color as an identifier for that particular level indexed in my head on the chart so that I always understand, right? Like for example, this purple, I know this purple background is pre-market and after hours, right? And this black here is the trading session. I like my background black. So check this out. I like my pre-market high and low level magenta bright, something that I can see quickly here, and I like yellow. I like using those colors. So I have a template that I created. So I went into the settings. You can go into the settings here. You can put some text behind it, right? Right? It's going to be yellow even though the line was blue. So you're like, well, I want the colors and that to match whatever. Customize it. Do you, right? Do you, right? You want it to match, go ahead. You want purple text, you want white, whatever, right? The size of it, you want to be different. You can't see that well. Cool. You can change where you want this to align. If you know what I mean. So you can see whatever you want it on the right. I don't put it on the right. I want it smack dab right there so I can see it, right? So that's me. And you can save that. I should have just done that there. See, here we go. Let's just do it. So you can save this. Let's go change the color, right? Make it not bold, italicize it, and let's say we want it at the bottom. You can save this and call it something pre-high. For me, I called everything just 2 letters. So there you go. So I'm gonna delete this here. We're gonna go and try this again and be like, okay, that was a pre-market high. Put the level there. Oh, we wanted to say pre-market high. Okay, right click, you go to template. There was what you did, right? What I have is this same thing. I just used two letters, and look, I'm gonna get rid of that and say I don't need that there. That's not mine anymore. That was the example that I was showcasing to people. Mine is PH, right? I go straight to PH, boom. It says it. I want it to be a straight line so I can see it. Pre-market high, I'll know if I cleanly broke it, yada yada. We zoom out here and we look at yesterday. Look to the left. Here's yesterday. We'll do the same thing, right? Because this is going to change as the days go by. I'll be moving these. So then we'll go here. And you think I don't have something saved for yesterday's high? Definitely do. YH, yesterday's high. Boom. I have that be dashed line. I actually want to change that a little bit. I want to make that a 1 point instead. And now to overlap that change, I have to say save as, and I'm going to say YH. It says you already have that. Yes, override it, replace it, done. And we're going to do yesterday's low. But we didn't even do a pre-market low. Let's do the pre-market low. Okay. Pre-market ends right here. Market opens at 9:30, so that's the lowest that we've went. Go back to the drawing tool. Go click there. It's last on yellow because the last thing we did was yellow. It's okay. Right click, template, PL. Boom. Pre-low. Okay. Now we go back to yesterday and we want yesterday's low. We take this level. Same thing. Right click. Oh, come on. Right click it. Template. YL. Remember, I want this to be a little bit smaller, so I got to change and adjust it. I'm going to make it a little smaller. And we're going to save as and override YL. We already have a YL. Are you sure? Yep. Boom. So there we go. And so at, like, for example, when we want the day highs and stuff and we want to put day high levels, I have that one saved just in case too, so that I can just keep documenting that. Say, okay, day high is here, day low is there. Maybe I want to, it's easier to trade something to a target when you actually have a target. That's the point, right? So here's DH. We got the day's high there. And you're just like, whoa, that's at least $1 away, close to $1 away if you caught an opportunity there or whatever. You know what I mean? This wasn't the day's low. Of course, this is the day's low at some point here. So if you wanted to hold to the day's low because you wanted to hold to the day's low, you would have had confluence from, yesterday's low being a target as well. It's kind of neat, to think about that, but it's easier to do this here and to just keep rolling in the manner of being organized. And you can just save everything there. So a lot of people don't know that about TradingView, but it's a great source. I'm going to give an example here as to why it's important, why confluence and correlation between having these levels and stuff is kind of neat there. I don't trade on extended hours. I just have it for levels, but, kind of look at things from here, then it's kind of neat. Let's go look at ticker SQ, which is block. We're going to go off these regular trading hours and go extended trading hours. I want to show you guys something here. Let's start from the bigger picture here. Let's go to yesterday's high, of course, first. So we go, right? When you're on this magnet tool, it's going to click to the nearest OHLC. So I'm on the high right there, so it clicks to the high. Right click, YH. Boom. Remember, it saved it for us now. It's at a 1 point instead of a 2. We're going to go yesterday's low. Boom. Pre-market here. This is the new day. This is the yesterday. The dashed line separates that, as you can see, 7th, 8th. Okay. We go. If we use that or high, all of this, look, hover over everything here and just take a look at the H right there, right? You got an H of 120. Pay attention to that H. This is the high, the price that it traded at 4 in the morning here. You catch a little gap up there, 127.50, right? High of this candle, 127.49. Next candle, 127.49. High, 127.50. So 127.50 is the high, right? So pre-market high. By definition, that's the pre-market high. So we right click and we say PH, right? Look at the high of the day, 127.50. It's kind of interesting. This is why I say do things and just keep things specific. Keep it algo. You'll have an opportunity. You went short there. You really took advantage of a quick scalp. That was awesome. On a name like Square. So, the idea of knowing that there's that pressure, the pre-market high, you can get above it on a strong momentum move, a few candles to go, right? It's kind of showing weakness here. So, you would have had a nice opportunity to probably have a bearish hat on for the day. And if you looked at the rest of the overall market and saw its strength or its weakness, you would have been able to gauge that. See, not here to talk strategy, but it's kind of hard not to see low-hanging fruit there. But just think about that. It's very important to have levels charted here. So this is the day's high. So if I right click on that here and I choose template DH, we're right at the same thing here. Day high and pre-market high were the same. It's kind of neat that those correlations come into play. So there's a pre-market low for us there. We're going to do this here to be organized. The more you do this and have this on the regular names that you look at, right, you are already ready. You're ready every single day, because then the only thing you got to do when you wake up in the morning in the trading session, you just move the lines. That's it. That's the genius behind it, is you're just moving the lines. So boom, and everything's labeled. So what I mean by moving the lines is, look, these lines are saved. You never have to do that whole right click this, right click that. They're here. Guess what? Pre-market high, when the market opens, let's say this is the pre-market right here. You literally can just move this. And this is the low. You literally can move it. Let's say, right? So you'll have that and be like, whoa, actually, I mean, that's kind of wild there. Maybe pre-market high realistically would be like around there, for example, let's say, right? Boom. You can move it for the next day. And then let's say, hypothetically speaking, okay, we're going to get rid of the day's low. This one you can just get rid of. I would recommend just getting rid of the day low and day high, because you can put that right back on there. But you just move look, we don't need Thursday anymore. We're looking at Friday's session, and the low was right there, highlighted, documented. And then we take the same thing for yesterday's high, and you just move it. That's why it's kind of neat here. You can just be organized quick and easy every single morning when you're looking at your favorite stocks, right? You're rotating through them. If you happen to see a name that you like in pre-market that's gapped up, gapped down because of some good news, bad news, well, guess what? You can do the same thing and apply it to that, and you have all the templates. It's not going to be work that you feel like you're doing, because you've already done the work beforehand. So, you stay ready, you know what I mean? So you don't have to get ready. So that's kind of the mindset to have when it comes to being organized and learning how to use your tools. Using your tools when it comes to trading, and being at a level, having a level of, organized, flow of how you, chart, will end up definitely paying off in the long run. So kind of keeps you from running around, in the market like a chicken with your head cut off, because you end up realizing, like, all right, let me just wait for my triggers. Let me wait for my areas of entry or possible trade opportunities. 80% is waiting, 10% buying, 10% selling. So stay tuned for the next episode. I don't know what it's going to be, but hopefully I'll come up with something here. So thanks for tuning in.